Should we have a little drive? Let's hope we don't break down. It's bloody hot. I did think my wife was going to get me out, but in the end it's me. Oh, I need to tighten that up. Hang on a minute. Hang on a minute, guys. 1 second. Right, this is a bit swivelly, so we need to tighten it. This looks good. I hope it doesn't fall off. Okay, that's a bit better, I think it's a bit, yeah, that looks like it's going to hold. We get a bit more window on it, so you've got a bit of a view where we're going. So we're on defending Elvis Presley, I think. A bit less ceiling, what do you reckon? So, we're getting Rio, got the sunglasses. Go back a little bit. Yeah, so you can get the other, actually you'll get the other window. Get a bit of a view from the other window. So, okay guys. So we're not going far. Whee! We haven't been for a drive, have we? Not for a few weeks. One of my phone holders broke. I bought a new one. It might fall off. Don't know, guys. Don't know. So we're only going about 2 or 3 miles each way. What are we going to talk about? Elvis. So welcome to Defending Elvis. At least I think we're on Defending Elvis. So I've already told Rio, I pre-warned him that we're live. And he said he wants to sit in the back. He doesn't want to be in my live. So, can't see that many of you joining. I wonder if are we on. I just want to know if we are on Defending Elvis, because usually Defending Elvis, quite a few join quite quick. I know the signal's a bit iffy. That ain't help, is it? Right. Okay. So I did have to tweak the engine a little bit. A couple of days ago, it kept stuttering, it kept stalling. So what I did, the points had closed. Does anyone know what that means? There's like this distributor thing that shares the spark around in the engine, and it's got this little electronic pointer, this little like thing that clips, clippy, 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 and it closed. You've got to open it and use a feeler gauge. You put a little gap in it. So I noticed that my mouse was right. I noticed that it closed up, so that's why it kept stalling, and it was making the engine run hot as well. So I've sorted that out. It didn't actually take long, 10 minutes. I did clean the spark plugs as well. So it seems to be running better. It doesn't seem to be stalling. I will warn you guys, these are a pain in the arse, these old cars. You're always worried they're going to break down. So you'll have a good phase, like a couple of weeks, a month, a few months. It'll be running, everything's great. Think, yeah, oh, I love owning a camper van. I love owning a classic car or classic van, whatever you want to call it. And then it'll just be a complete nightmare. It won't start. It runs badly. It stinks of petrol, and it keeps stalling, and it won't accelerate properly, and it won't tick over. I think with these old Volkswagens, getting them to tick over is harder than making them run quite fast or run quite well. With this one in particular, ticking over has always been its problem. But it's also had periods, like now, where it ticks over perfect. So, actually this one has never not, I've never known this one to not start. I've always been able to get it to start. I mean, when I bought it, I did service all the brakes. I stripped down all the brakes all round. Obviously, I serviced the engine. Even the gearbox, I made sure it was right. The clutch, I adjusted it. The carburettor, eventually I changed it. I found that the carburettor, every time it got dirty, the engine wouldn't run. So eventually I changed the manifold and the inlet manifold and the carburettor to the original Volkswagen spec German carburettor, and that did work. Yeah, I found that the modified carburettor that it was given, it was a Weber, didn't work very well. It was okay, but not good enough. Whereas the original, which is called I think it's called a Solex. I think it's called a Solex 31 PICT. I bought a rebuilt one, and it seems to be fine. It just every now and then I'll tick over it. I have to adjust it, but that's sometimes to do with the timing and the ignition. And I'm waffling now about the camper van. So I may as well carry on talking about the camper van, innit? So this is a 1967. I specifically chose this one because it was 1967. I wouldn't own this camper van if it wasn't 1967. I bought it for that reason. I wanted right-hand drive, because in England, we're right-hand drive, but they're much more valuable. You can literally add on £10,000 to the value of these if they're right-hand drive. Left-hand drive, they're literally worth 10,000 less. So I wanted a right-hand drive. I was looking for a colour that I like. Now I really like the colour of this one. This one used to be a wedding camper van. It does have a bed. There's a little cooker under the seat, just a little basic cooker. So you can actually live in this. I have rebuilt the engine. I've actually done it twice. The first time I just give it a bit of a makeover, cleaned it all up, removed the pistons, cleaned it up. The second time I actually gave it brand new pistons, brand new piston rings. It does take about a week. Now, me doing the engine rebuild on this is why we do live streams, guys. Because I know most of you know this story, but when I decided to rebuild the engine on this, I stopped having the time to do editing on videos, on my shorts and on my videos. Get out. Just need to have a crash there, those people. So, as I was saying, to cut a long story short, because I didn't have no time to edit, I said, oh, I'm going to try doing a live stream, because with live streams you don't have to edit. With live streams you literally make them as you go, like we're doing now. Yeah, original content. Hey, as I keep getting reminded, that Louis got no original content. I've got loads. I've got thousands of videos of original content. But anyway, so what you do is, I decided I was going to do live streams because there's no editing involved. Post the lives. No, you don't even have to post them. They automatically post. Yeah, and I did that every day. No one watching. The first lives I did, no one watched. No one. Yeah. See if my son sees me. Right, we're here now, guys. And then what happened was it started growing. I sort of remember a few of the original people, not many. Please let me know who you are. Obviously, let me just call. He's there, sat there. Rio. Where is he? Where is he? Rio! He's not answering me. Anyway, yeah, as I was saying, so I'll tell you what, there's nothing better than driving a camper van when it's sunny. This weather is the absolute best weather to drive a camper van. It really does suit it. I never ever drive it in the rain, ever. I never drive it in the rain. But I think we're gonna have to go around the front. So yeah, so I think I'm pretty sure it was Debbie and Linda and a few others that were joining me. Where is he? And then the lives just started growing. I never intended to do lives. It was never a planned thing. I was quite happy to do my editing, making my videos. I use CapCut. I just got addicted to it. I just really liked the lives. I liked the community that started to grow. It started very small, like 2 or 3 people. There he is. It's like he can't hear me. It started 2 or 3 people. It just started growing. What's he doing? He's not even stood up. He's messaging someone. He's very handsome, my boy. He's like super handsome. He doesn't like me being on there. Alright, mate. You know I was over there calling you. You couldn't hear me, could you?
Did you whistle?
Yeah, whistle.
Oh, whistled,
yeah, and I called.
I heard a whistle, but I didn't know.
Doesn't matter. I didn't want to go over those bumps, but actually it was alright. It did go over the bumps. It was alright. So it seems to be driving better today as well, Rio. So, and I'm just talking to the camera, okay? Everything alright?
Yeah, I offered to make up the extra half an hour of this, so that's what I finished half 2 to 2.
So you finished half an hour later, have you?
Yeah, because I said to him, oh, I'll make up the half an hour if you want.
And what did he say?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So did he tell you off?
No, he's fine.
So Rio had a bit of a lie and he overslept. So Rio's 17, he works in the gym as a lifeguard. And what is your job role, Rio?
I'm just a leisure centre attendant.
He's a leisure centre attendant, but he's also had training to be a lifeguard, but he's actually working. What is the name of your job, Rio? When you start for he works for Hinkley Point. He's going to work for Hinkley Point. They're training him. It's like a power station, yeah. So they make energy. Is it atomic energy? Nuclear energy. Yeah. What is your role? It's admin, isn't it?
Procurement.
Huh?
Procurement.
Procurement. So he'll get training there. I've heard. Rio's heard as well that it's very well paid. Rio is very smart, always has been. He was even when he was a baby. So admin, I think admin will be a good fit for him, but at the same time Rio is very sporty, athletic, you know, very like his mum. So obviously Aurora is very, very, very physically athletic. She always has been. Yeah, even now at 41, she's about to turn, she's 42 in a few weeks. She's muscly and fast and fit, always has been. She was one of the people that at school won everything. Yeah, she's won loads of medals in. She's just like that. Yeah, Rio is also like that. Yeah, Rio has that gene where you're fit and fast and good at everything. Just Rio's like that. He was born that way. Whereas me, I was bloody useless at sports. I couldn't even kick a ball. But I will say this, guys, I have always exercised. So I've always weightlifted, even when I was a boy. Even running, I think I've sort of always done a bit of running. I did run more as I got older, but I've always done some kind of running. I could never play sports, never. And I've always thought the reason I wasn't very good at sports is because my mum and dad didn't give me any confidence. My mum and dad never installed any confidence in me. My parents never told me I was good at anything. I I'm gonna have to go around a little bit. I was trying to pull out, but he didn't let me, bugger. Oi, let me out, you bugger. So basically, yeah, 50s and 60s has always been my thing. Anything, those rock and roll ballads, guys, I love them, absolutely love them. I should sit on my bed playing my records, listening to these old rock and roll ballads of so many different. She was only 16, things like that, yeah. And Soldier Boy, things like that, yeah. That is the music I fell in love with. I fell in love with that music, as well as Elvis, as well as the Beatles. But Rion, they're not letting me out, Rion. I'm gonna have to go all the way up. It's really annoying. Can I go now? No. Annoying. These people that don't even let me out. It's so selfish. Doesn't matter. It's not far. So yeah, I would sit on my bed, playing records. I had a really good record collection. I really built it up. Loads of second-hand records that I bought from the second-hand record. Very, very old and knackered. And I would just sit on my bed playing all these old songs. Of course, a lot of Elvis. Elvis was always my favourite by a long way, you know. Always, yeah. So I immersed myself in rock and roll. And the Beatles. I did love the Beatles. So I think right from that age, it made me like old things. Like I loved my dad's old vintage radio. My dad had you know the old vintage ones that get really hot? The valve ones, is that what they call them? I just loved my dad's. My dad had this giant radio that could tune in all around the world. You know, had all the different countries, you know, obviously Britain, America, but Luxembourg, and you know, all these kind of different radio, Luxembourg. So I would sit there in front of my dad's vintage radio, because my dad loved buying old things. My dad would go to the auctions every week, and he would always bring home old, rubbishy, vintagey items, because they were so cheap. Most of the stuff my dad would buy at these auctions was junk. One of the things was this old radio. It was massive. It was like, I can't even describe it to you. It was like, oh, I don't even know how big to compare it. Like as big as a fridge. And I would sit there in front of it for hours, tuning around the different radio stations. Obviously, this is the 70s, yeah. And I would look for rock and roll. As soon as I would find rock and roll songs, I'd love it. Love it. And I remember the warmth that would come from it, because it's the old valve set, yeah. And I don't know, it sticks in my mind, that radio. I still remember exactly how it looked today. I suppose most of you have got the same memory. So the vintage thing really has always been part of who I am. Lately, later on, I'm going to be reviewing a channel called AM Vintage, because they did a video last night where they were at some 100th anniversary of I think a museum, and Priscilla was there. Priscilla Presley. They even managed to do a video of Priscilla with them, yeah, and pictures, etc. And AM Vintage, they are a vintage channel. So yes, they're Elvis, but they're also anything vintage. They buy and sell collectible items. And they're a husband-wife team. Adam and Marie, I think it is. I'm friends with them. You know, they talk about me on their channel. I talk about them. So I'm going to do a review on their experience at this 100th anniversary. There was like a carnival event where Priscilla was on an open-top bus, waving at everyone. So I'm going to review that, because I thought it was really interesting that they actually managed to get up close to Priscilla, so you can see exactly how she looked yesterday. Which, come on, as Elvis fans, I know that you have strong feelings about her, but we are interested in Priscilla, let's be honest, yeah? So I thought, oh, that'd be a good topic for a live or for a video. So I'm going to show that off, give AM Vintage a bit of a promote. They're such a great channel. Please subscribe to AM Vintage. I do class AM Vintage as a friend of our channel, Defending Elvis, and I know they watch me because they tell me. Yeah. So we're going to show the bit of footage they've got of Priscilla. They also got Mickey Dolan from the Monkees. Ray, you ever heard of the Monkees? Hey, we're the Monkees, and he was there. So he was in a vintage car. He still seems to be going strong. He's obviously quite old now. He must be in his 80s. You know, the Monkees. Come on, the Monkees are the American Beatles, yeah. I'm a big fan of the Monkees. Always was. Yeah. Who is that? Who is that? Anyway, so that is going to be one of my lives or videos, and then the other one I want to start digging out some Elvis Week stuff. Elvis Week, obviously it's Elvis Week. Is it from the 9th? No, from the 8th to the 16th. Is that right, guys? You tell me. It's a big deal. Many of Team Elvis are going to be there, so I want to talk about that. All right, Ray, get that. So that's £5, please. All these freebies these kids are getting, mate. So, and I know there's only a few of you on, but can I ask, are we on Defending Elvis? The camper van did really well. Ticking over lovely, guys. Look at it. Spreading beautifully. So, I want to do this, hey, we're the Monkees. And what was the other thing? Priscilla Presley. I'll tell you what, I'm going to be honest. I watched AM Vintage's footage of Priscilla. They met her, you know, arm round her and a bit of a selfie. You could see all the fans gathering around her, worshipping her as usual, begging for autographs. Yeah, she actually was very friendly. I thought she looked right. Yeah, the thing I did think about the footage when I was watching it just now, actually, she's tiny. She's like. I knew she was small, I knew she was short, but she's really small and really short. That did surprise me. She looked well. She didn't look like there's any signs of dementia or anything like that. And so what I'm gonna do, guys, let's have a look. If my wife lets me, I'm gonna go on the laptop and I'm gonna try and do this AM Vintage and this 100th anniversary of this museum, where you got the guy from the Monkees, Mickey, and you've got Priscilla Presley in an open top bus waving at the crowds, but you've also got Adam and Marie meet Priscilla, take a picture with Priscilla. So I'd like to show that off. I'd like to give Adam and Marie a bit of a shout out as well on AM Vintage, because I love their channel. Please subscribe to them. So that's my plan. Sorry, I've got no clothes on, basically. Obviously, I've got shorts on. Reason being is because it's bloody hot in the UK and we're having a heat wave. A bloody heat wave, mate. So take it easy. I'll be back.